Alright, Joe, what up? Basically, quick update on the day. It is Thursday right now, and I have to get out two videos probably by the end of tonight. It's currently 11 p.m., so my goal is to get them out by 12 and also get another video done and schedule that for tomorrow morning. And these are short form just for my Instagram, no client stuff here. And then after that, the move is just go to sleep, and then I'm basically out of commission for 2 days because of surgery. But lots of amazing things I want to talk about. I'll get to that tomorrow in terms of specific ideas about how I can completely level up and change content and my content as well. And it's just coming from an overall basic understanding standpoint, in the sense that my understanding of content, two things that I overall learned that I specifically need to focus on for myself are one, mentioning my unique mechanism, or rather unique selling proposition that I have, which is something that differentiates me from my entire competitors, and then also is something that the consumer, the customer of my product, will instantly see that it is different and helps me stand out. And it's also going to be a mechanism in the sense that it helps uniquely solve the problem which I'm helping people with, which is a combination of content systems, because people either have difficulty with the time required to make content, either they're not getting views or they're not being able to turn the traffic into sales. And the overall mechanism that I specifically use to be able to make that entire process take place from first touch all the way until the lead is closed is what I specifically have a specific way of handling. And it's like I have my specific breakdown of what that looks like for me myself. And I've also looked at in depth and paid for other people's funnel sort of structure and stuff like that. And it's almost, you always boil it down to first principles, and it almost falls to the, like, you don't, what's the quote? You don't rise to the level of your expectations, you fall to the level of your systems, or you fall to the level of your, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your expectations. I don't give a fuck what it is. Basically, systems and KPIs are something that I need to track, because they're basically the lead thing when it comes to any sort of funnel. Because if your KPIs are ass and you're missing out on tracking something, then it's like it doesn't matter how expensive or how luxurious or beautiful your entire funnel is. It's just completely rendered useless because you're not actually tracking the right things. And if you don't track it, then you can't improve it, thus actually like leading to complete like obsolescence of the whole thing. So it's like, I understand that if I want to help bridge the gap in someone's problem, then I need to indirectly speak about that specific problem in every single one of my pieces of content. And that's something for like the last like 3 or 4 pieces of content that I posted, I'm not exactly doing. And so I need to do it to a higher ability, to a better ability. I need to do it more directly with my words instead of just catching up for what I think the truth is in the captions of the Instagram post, which is sometimes contradictory or additional to what was omitted in the actual Instagram video, which is not helpful. And so the move is also, another one of the changes that I need to make for the content is the actual location I'm in. Like, this setup, all this shit is nice and all, but it's like I need to, I know of a couple methods rather that I can use, and there are so many locations in which I could frame myself to look very, very luxurious, or like I have status or authority or something like that, which is deemed as important by the goats of content rather. But the question is, I already know how I'm gonna do that. And it's like, when the time is right, I'm gonna do that when I have my next batch filming day next week. But it's also like, these are the trials and tribulations I have to go through if I really want to make this work, especially if I'm trying to help other people with content. I need to really figure out the game to the best of my ability before, or obviously there's always things to learn, but it's like, if I get to a certain level, I'm gonna start attracting really the right people. And in the middle of that, I'm gonna have posts that are specifically dedicated to view baiting and like rage baiting and doing things to get the views, because I also need the vanity metrics for the specific type of business that I'm in. The vanity metrics do matter, unfortunately. Like, that's just the reality of things. So it's like, I'm gonna need to find a way to bait them out. Then sure, I might not have a 100% list of buyers, but it's like I also have a complete outreach system, got leads coming in. So it's like, I'm basically set. I just need to do the right things, trigger the views, and then have dedicated content to both middle and bottom of funnel. And if I do that effectively, it sounds simple, but it's instead doing the things. Also, another lesson that I learned today was on my Sundays, every single like rich, super successful young entrepreneur says you need to take Sundays off so that you can plan. What specifically they mean is planning not only in terms of KPIs and looking at the stuff that you've learned across the entire week, in the sense that you reflect on your activities and the input that you did and you see what it led to, and then how you can iterate that in order to have the best possible result. But another one of the things that's very important is planning for the future and not just reflecting on the past. And what I mean specifically in my case is I need to plan for the fact that I need to plan out exactly the specific physical location that I'm going to be in at every single point of the week. And you might think like, okay, that's so simple. Like, it's just a physical look. Like, this guy doesn't know where the fuck he's going to be. Like, it's like, no. Am I going to be at university at a specific time? Am I going to be at a library at a specific time? Am I going to be filming a certain shoot and be in that physical location with all the physical locations required for me to batch record content in multiple different locations that look sophisticated, proportionate to like the level of buyer that I'm trying to attract? All of those things matter. I need to understand the physical location and the specifics as much as I can, obviously a week out, of where I'm going to be. And I also need to understand what I'm going to be doing once I'm in that location specifically. And if you've seen any sort of SOPs, not in a like a business sense, on like our level of business, like not on a cash flow business sense of SOP, which is like maybe one or two Loom videos and like a Notion document that details a certain strategy, but I'm talking like a consulting enterprise level corporate SOP, which is like if you look at like the big four, the EY, Deloitte, P&G, and you look at these companies that are like multi-million, these companies that are like humongous, it's like they have, if you look at one of their SOPs that consultants specifically are in charge of creating, it's like, it's huge because they literally take care of and account for every single sneeze, every single fucking scratch of your ball sack. They account for everything. They literally, like, there's lines and lines and like talking 1,000-page documents. They account for every single fucking movement, every blink of an eye. And it's like, why do they do that? Like, that sounds like a little bit counterintuitive, right? Cost benefit. Like, it doesn't really seem as if they benefit from doing that proportionate to how much it costs to pay a consultant. So it's like, why would they do something like that? And it's like, there's obviously a return on it. And so it's like, how can I mimic that to a certain degree, to which it's like, not only can I structure it in a way that I would have a greater tendency to actually follow up on it and act out the things that are in the calendar, which I don't really struggle with that much. Like, I've been like on calendar. If I say I'm gonna do something or I write it down that I'm gonna do it, I most oftentimes do it. The only thing that does mess me up is having a lack of control over certain variables that I know I'm supposed to handle, but I don't like literally write it down. So I think one of the main ways to counteract that is if I can strictly understand how the entire week plays out, and that way it's going to decrease my chances of falling back, and also I'm going to be far more resilient in the sense that if in one day something goes wrong, in the sense that I don't get the outcome that I wanted, I am going to know that on a long enough time horizon of 1 week, because I know how the week plays out, this is not something I should be discouraged about. Because oftentimes, if I'm going on a day-to-day basis, like yesterday, I would acknowledge that I haven't done the things or received the outcome from the things that I've like projected how they would result. And then I get kind of upset about it. And then that's what triggers the time waste. That's what triggers the, oh, my schedule's unrealistic anyways for this day, so therefore I'm going to push it off. But no, if I have a week and I know how the week is going to play out, I think that handles the objection of me getting it all in my head, because once you're in your head, you're dead. This has gone way longer than I wanted to, 11 minutes. Wow. But basically, that's the update for the day. And hope you're having a good life, mate. Hope you're achieving your goals, man. Peace.